So what's the Grape Expert talking about today? So one of the phenomenons that we have here in America, and I've noticed for the last 15 years, is a wine that flies under the radar. A lot of people might not know it, but a lot of the wine professionals certainly know this wine. Because if you go into a restaurant today, you will find this wine, usually by the glass, because they're very good values. But we wanted to point this out. This is a Gruner Veltliner, and in the terms today, they call it a Gruner. So you might see this on if you go into a wine bar or going to restaurants. This is actually the darling right now of a lot of sommeliers for a number of reasons. And it's not just in the last 5 years, we're talking last 15 years. But, going back to the early 80s, I have a little experience with Austria because I had a chance as a young guy to visit there with actually my mom. We were visiting different parts of Europe. And we went to Austria, and I was just blown away with this country. I thought it was the most beautiful country. We went to Salzburg in the north. I wasn't even in the wine business back in those days. But when I came back to America, got in the wine business, I had an interesting project because I actually started working for an Austrian wine company that had a lot of Gruner Veltliner. And we're talking 1982, 1983. A lot of people really didn't know that. But if you're not familiar with this wine region that we're going to talk about, this is Austria right here. So the area where this grape comes from, Gruner Veltliner, comes from the Burgenland right here. So the Burgenland stretches all the way down here. You've got Vienna all the way up here. Vienna's here, okay? And then you've got the Burgenland, which is right here. So this is the biggest production area here for this grape. And it is, a lot of people have been doing scientific research on Gruner Veltliner to find out where it actually started, but hey, they found out it started here. So it's an indigenous grape that just grows in Austria, but it did spread out because right now the second largest producer, after doing my research, to come to find out, is the Czech Republic. The Czech Republic has over 5,000 acres of Gruner Veltliner planted. So keep an eye out for that because you're going to start to see some, or they might even see some in the market right now, Gruner Veltliner. That's not just from Austria, but also from there. But now we go to the Finger Lakes in New York, and then we go to California, we go to Australia, we go to certain areas, of the world right now. You're starting to see this grape right here, which is a very, very interesting grape. But yeah, it started in Austria. So we want to kind of jump right in here. So I love Gruner Veltliner. When I go to a restaurant or wine bar and I see a Gruner Veltliner on the list, chances are that's what David's drinking. And guess what? Because I love white wine, I love the purity of this grape. You smell typical orchard fruit, so you get a lot of that appley kind of fruit. You get a lot of that pear. You get really, just luscious fruit just leaps up in the glass. But you also get that kind of slatey mineral tone. I think that's what really people are into. They're into the fact that you can get what I call stone fruits. And when you can actually smell that, you can smell the rocks and the minerals along with the fruit. It's kind of cool. But when you really dive into this wine, you're going to find out. Wow, this is absolutely delicious wine. And I can see why, because this is a $15 bottle of wine in the marketplace right now. So now I can see why Americans are adoring these wines more and more. And they are, because, Riesling might be a little too sweet for them. If you look at the bottle, it does look a little bit like a Riesling bottle from the Mosel. But just remember one thing, these wines are dry. And, you'll specifically see Gruner Veltliner, underneath $20 a bottle, unless it's from some of the illustrious domains. But pay attention now. If you just see a wine that just says Gruner Veltliner on it, this is a particular producer that, we wanted to highlight a little bit, here today. But Hungary, Slovakia, Czech Republic, you're starting to see these wines really flourish today all over the world. And this is a wine that's brought in by Volker Adonenbaum. He's the founder of Volker Wines. And they've been in the industry a long time. This is 5 months on its lees, native yeast, mineral. You got that chalk. It's got that little golden apple, as I said, orchard fruit, but you also get a little lime zest out of this. So this is a terrific bottle we wanted to identify for people in the market to go out and find if you really want a terrific bottle of wine from this area right here. Again, $15. This is 2023, so you can't get it any more fresh than that. You want to make sure you buy a wine from this region, at least it's a couple of years under the vintage. So ready to drink, beautiful wines right now. Again, this is a Grape Explorer. Always trying to bring great wines to the table. Gruner Veltliner, and we say it in the trade, we call it a Gruner. So because if you don't want to say Veltliner, which is a mouthful of wine, just say Gruner, and you will get to the point of what you really want to drink tonight. Cheers.